Well, welcome back to the shop. As you can see, after a successful couple of opening rounds of the 2020 season, Mighty Tyre Pro Lola T580 is back in the shop for some much needed minor servicing, and a couple of things really became apparent after the opening round, which was like real hot. It was like 30 degrees, 28 degrees centigrade, about 50 degrees centigrade on the track. The driver got overheated, and the engine got overheated, and the oil got overheated, and so consequently what we need to do is we need to fit the factory optional oil cooler onto the factory optional oil cooler mounting points here with an oil cooler that hasn't been made for 40 years. That's the first thing that became apparent, so I have to make something, which I've got. The second thing the eagle-eyed amongst you might actually notice is, you know, I made that skid plate. Look at that. Look. Not saying that I'm a shit driver, but I did have a couple of spins, and what you can see under there, look at that. Now imagine if that had have been my bell housing, or worse still, my drive. Now in this modern day age of computers and technology, I could have spent 3 hours relearning how to drive AutoCAD, and then 4 hours figuring out how to format it and print it off and take it down to the laser cutter and then get it printed off. But sometimes the old school simple ways are the best. You know, you're making a one-off prototype or something like that, just make yourself one out of aluminum. Away you go. By the time I'd sent this thing off to be laser cut and TIG welded and shit, yeah, an old school World War II aircraft mechanic engineering guy would have made about 10 of these things, and they'd be on the Lancaster bomber and out over they'd be. So anyway, off we go. I think that big thick aluminium plate there that I found for the skid plate, probably a bit heavy duty for the oil cooler mount, so we're going to go for a little wander over to my little cave. Never mind the poor other race cars which are being neglected. Avert your eyes and look, hidden down here, stashed for a rainy day, is perfect. The miracle of modern video editing is just the bit of motivator. Even better, it actually kind of almost looks like it's meant to be there. You'll have to excuse the noise. We've got my budding young engineering daughter out there who's deciding to inflate millions of inflatable things. Bloody compressors, they're so noisy. And through the miracles of modern photo and video editing, a bit of time lapse, we have the finished product. We have one low pressure oil cooler attached to the scavenge out of the dry sump pump. Brand new hoses running up to a custom made oil cooler, which just runs around and behind there. You can imagine the airflow coming back out of there. Yeah. And essentially, that thing there then runs all the way back up through the inner workings to the header tank up there. A little couple of hose clips, and we're back in business. We now have at least 50% better cooling than it used to have. I'm pretty happy with that, as long as it doesn't get wiped out by any errant rocks or big hunks of shit. So, right, we are good to go.